Hello and welcome to the tutorial Geography Year 6, Unit 1, Mapping the World, and this is video part 2. This video will walk you through the following areas: how to adapt activities and lessons, how to plan for the inquiry question, and key moments within the unit to look out for. Adapting activities can be easily done by using the ebook workbook and the snipping tool to paste the activity onto a Word or Publisher document and edit it. From there, you can print it and stick the adapted activity into your exercise book or directly over the workbook original activity. You may be familiar with the snip tool, but it can be found by searching in the search bar or simultaneously pressing Windows, Shift and S. Drag your mouse to highlight the area you want to copy, and that selection of your screen can be copied onto your clipboard and then onto your Word or Publisher document. This is the first workbook activity for Lesson 1. I'm going to run through the activities in the workbook from lesson 1 to 6 and give suggestions on how you may adapt them. You don't have to use my examples or even adapt them at all, but these are suggestions for ways in which you could. For this activity, pupils should study the images of maps, then write the type of map below. Support pupils by creating labels for people to sort and stick in. Add the starting letter for some or all of the answers. Give your pupils a word bank. And stretch pupils by asking pupils to give examples of when using each type of different map would be useful. In Lesson 2, for this activity, pupils should use an atlas to find out which location the latitude and longitude show. Support pupils by partially completing the table to allow pupils more time to complete. Create labels for pupils to stick in instead of write. And stretch pupils by asking pupils to select a destination and work out the latitude and longitude for it. Please note that I've crossed out the fourth latitude and longitude reading, as this is not on the slides and is incorrect. For this activity, people should answer the questions and investigate the names and grid references for the symbols in the diagram. Support pupils by giving pupils multiple choice answers to choose from. Give pupils the first two figures of the grid reference. And stretch pupils by asking pupils to create their own grid with symbols and add the grid references for each symbol. For this activity, pupils should answer the questions based on fieldwork in their local area. Support pupils by working through a model with them before they begin independently, by selecting a small group of pupils to work together on the answers, by offering some multiple choice answers so pupils can select the ones they want. Stretch pupils by asking them to answer more challenging activities such as, what do you think is the most difficult, easiest part of fieldwork and why? For this activity, people should carry out the investigation of their local area they would have been planning for this unit. Support pupils by adding the investigation question. Use the additional resource from Lesson 4 to decide what activity pupils will be doing and add the table to the workbook. This could be done for the whole class or just a few pupils. Stretch pupils by asking them challenging questions such as, do you think the investigation was successful, why or why not? For this activity, pupils should present data from their geographical investigation. Support pupils by giving pupils the completed tally chart from last lesson as an extra resource to refer to. Create the bar chart for pupils to fill. And depending on the pupil, you can decide how much support to give with the bar chart. You could leave like this, or add the scale and information on the axes. Stretch pupils by asking them questions such as, what other ways could you present this data? Is this the most effective way? To recap, this is the inquiry question that should be answered at the end of the unit. How can maps and fieldwork help us to understand a place? Is there anything else they cannot tell us? And the main disciplinary concept is DC6, Young People's Lives. To support teachers with implementing the inquiry question, we have created an inquiry question support document. Here you can find the information you will need and additional activity for pupils to complete. This could support them as a planning activity, be a recap of the entire unit knowledge to refresh memories before the assessment, or be edited into the assessment itself. The Enquiry Question support document for this unit can be found with the other resources on the Oxford OWL website. Your Enquiry question could be answered as an extended write, poster, a presentation, a question paper, a multiple choice quiz, whatever best suits your class. For every unit, there are elements that will need to be planned in advance. You'll need to plan an engaging hook, print off any additional resources per lesson, and gather resources for specific lessons using the unit planning guidance to help. Hopefully, you now feel confident about accessing and teaching this unit. Any questions, please send to primarymastery@curriculumplus.org.uk, and we welcome all feedback to ensure that these resources are as supportive as possible for you and your pupils.